All right, let's unpack this. Today we're diving deep into the world of radiation therapy. Specifically, we're prepping you for a job interview in this field.
It's a competitive field, so every advantage helps.
We've got a stack of resources from RoleCatcher covering career guides and interview guides, even insights into how their AI can give you an edge.
Yeah, their AI is really something.
Our mission, to arm you with the knowledge, A&D, the confidence to nail those interview questions and ultimately land that dream job.
That's right. Consider this your interview prep crash course.
Love it. But before we get into the AI and all that, let's start by painting a picture of what a radiation therapist's day-to-day actually looks like. What are we really talking about here?
They're truly on the front lines of cancer care, delivering precise radiation doses using some seriously cutting-edge technology.
So high-tech for sure. But I'm sensing it's not just about the machines, right?
Absolutely not. A huge part of the role is providing emotional support to patients throughout their treatment journey. It's this incredible blend of technical expertise and genuine human connection.
That makes total sense. I imagine working in hospitals and cancer centers, as RoleCatcher points out, must create a very specific, high-stakes environment.
Exactly. And on top of that, the field is evolving so rapidly. New technologies and treatments are emerging constantly. So employers are looking for someone who's not just skilled, but adaptable and eager to learn.
So how do you convey that in an interview? Well, luckily, RoleCatcher's given us a treasure trove of common interview questions. So let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Okay, let's start with a classic. Describe your experience in the field of radiation therapy. Now, this might seem straightforward, but it's your chance to go beyond simply listing your previous roles.
So don't just give them a dry recitation of your resume.
Right. Think about what truly ignited your passion for this field. Was there a specific experience, a mentor, or even a patient interaction that solidified your dedication? Weave that into your answer, showing them you're not just clocking in and out, but that you genuinely care.
That makes it more personal and memorable for sure. I'm guessing they'll probably have some follow-up questions to dig a little deeper.
Absolutely. Be prepared for something like, what's a challenging patient interaction you've had and how did you navigate it?
Ooh, that's a tough one. What's the best way to approach a question like that?
Honesty and empathy are key. Don't shy away from describing a difficult situation, but focus on how you use your communication skills and professionalism to de-escalate the situation and ensure the patient felt heard and understood.
It's about showcasing your problem-solving skills too, that you can think on your feet and stay calm under pressure.
Exactly. Now, another question that often comes up is, how do you ensure patient safety during radiation therapy treatment? This one's all about demonstrating your knowledge of procedures and protocols.
So this is where you bring in specific examples of safety measures, like double-checking calculations or verifying patient positioning.
Absolutely. You want to paint a picture of yourself as meticulous and detail-oriented. The interviewer needs to know they can trust you to prioritize patient safety above all else.
And I imagine a good follow-up question might be, how do you stay updated on the latest safety recommendations and guidelines?
That's a great one. This is your opportunity to highlight your commitment to lifelong learning. Mention professional journals, conferences, online courses, anything that shows you're actively engaged in staying at the forefront of your field.
So we've covered experience, safety. But what about those human-centered skills? It seems like communication is such a big part of this role.
You're absolutely right. A common clone that targets this is, how do you handle difficult patients during radiation therapy treatment? Remember, you're working with people who are going through incredibly challenging times, so empathy is crucial.
It's about showing you can understand their anxieties and fears, right? Not just dismissing their concerns.
Exactly. You want to highlight your ability to listen actively, communicate clearly and compassionately, and build rapport even in difficult situations.
They might even ask for a specific example, like give an example of time you had to de-escalate a tense situation with a patient or their family.
Have a story ready that showcases your ability to remain calm, empathetic, and solution-oriented even when faced with challenging emotions.
Okay, I'm feeling a little more prepared for those tougher questions now.
And remember, this is where RoleCatcher's AI can really come in handy.
Yeah, I was just about to ask about that. So
Yeah.
how exactly can their AI help with all of this?
Well, their AI engine can analyze specific job descriptions and identify the skills that employers are really looking for. It then helps you tailor your resume and your answers to highlight those specific skills. It's like having a personalized interview coach in your pocket.
Okay, so you're not just walking in with generic answers. You're actually addressing the nuances of each individual job you apply for.
Exactly. Plus, they've got this amazing database of practice interview questions, categorized by career and skill, so you can really hone your responses.
So no more staring blankly when they throw a curveball question your way.
Exactly, and their AI can even give you feedback on your video rehearsals.
Wow, so you can see how you're coming across and make adjustments to your delivery. That's incredible. It's
Yep.
like having a virtual coach helping you every step of the way.
It really is. But it's important to remember that technology can only take you so far. You still need to showcase your genuine passion and knowledge of the field.
Right. It's about finding that balance between leveraging the AI tools and letting your own personality and expertise shine through. So we've talked about experience, safety,
Mm.
and those crucial communication skills.
Right.
But what about the technical side of things? I imagine they'll want to know you're up to date on the latest advancements.
Absolutely. A common question is, how do you keep up with new developments in radiation therapy technology?
This is where you break out those professional journals, conferences, online courses you mentioned earlier, right?
Exactly. And be prepared to discuss specific advancements, they might ask. What's a recent advancement in the field that you find particularly exciting, and why?
This is where you get to geek out a little bit.
Yeah.
Showcase your enthusiasm for the cutting edge.
Exactly. Enthusiasm goes a long way in an interview, especially when it's genuine.
Now, I can't imagine they'd let you leave without talking about accuracy. After all, we're talking about radiation here.
You're right. A typical question might be, how do you ensure accuracy in radiation therapy treatment planning?
This is where you highlight that meticulous attention to detail we talked about earlier. Your understanding of the complex technology and software involved.
Precisely. You also want to demonstrate your commitment to following established protocols to the letter. And be prepared for a hypothetical scenario like, what steps would you take if you noticed a discrepancy in a treatment plan?
Okay, so they're really trying to gauge your critical thinking skills here. How you'd handle a potential problem in a safe and responsible way.
You've got it. It's about showing them you can remain calm, assess the situation accurately, and take the appropriate steps to ensure patient safety is never compromised.
This is all starting to feel a lot less intimidating. It's like we're peeling back the layers of the interview process and seeing how to approach each question strategically.
Exactly. And remember, this is just a glimpse into the world of radiation therapist interview questions. RoleCatcher's guide covers a lot more ground.
So before we dive into even more question-answer prep, I think it's time for a quick breather. We'll be right back with more tips and insights to help you ace that interview.
Okay, so picking up where we left off. Let's say the interviewer throws you a curveball. Like, what steps would you take if you noticed a discrepancy in a treatment plan?
Right, because it's not just about knowing the procedures by heart. It's about showing you can think on your feet and make sound decisions when it really matters.
Exactly. You want to emphasize that patient safety is your top priority. So walk them through your thought process. First, you immediately flag the discrepancy. No question.
Of course.
Then double check all the calculations. Make sure nothing was missed.
Dotting those I's and crossing those D's.
And of course, consult with the radiation oncologist or medical physicist.
So basically, you're demonstrating that you're not afraid to speak up when something seems off,
Right. It shows you're careful and that you're a team player.
which are both crucial qualities in any healthcare setting.
Absolutely. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about communication with patients and their families. Interviewers might ask something like, how do you communicate with patients and their families about radiation therapy treatment?
Oh, that's a good one. Because it's so much more than just explaining the technical details, right? You're dealing with people who are going through a really tough time.
Exactly. So conveying empathy and understanding is key.
So what are some good points to hit when answering that?
Highlight your ability to listen actively, explain complex concepts in clear and simple language, and address their concerns with sensitivity and compassion.
Right, because they're probably feeling overwhelmed with information.
For sure.
Now, I'm guessing a possible follow-up to this could be, describe a time when you had to deliver difficult news to a patient or their family.
That's a heavy one for sure.
Yeah, how do you even begin to prepare for a question like that?
Well, it's a chance to showcase your emotional intelligence, your ability to communicate with empathy and tact, even when the news is hard.
So it's about finding that balance between honesty and support.
Exactly. And again, this is where RoleCatcher's AI can be really helpful.
Oh, right, because you can practice these difficult conversations and get feedback on your delivery.
Exactly. It's like having a personal communication coach in your back pocket.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about handling tough conversations. But let's face it, radiation therapy is a demanding field in general. How do you address that in an interview?
Well, they'll probably want to know how you handle the pressure. They might ask, How do you manage your workload as a radiation therapist?
Okay, so that's all about showcasing your time management and prioritization skills.
Exactly. Talk about your ability to stay organized, multitask effectively, and remain calm under pressure.
You can even share a specific example, right? Like describe a time when you had to juggle multiple tasks and meet tight deadlines.
That's a great way to demonstrate your ability to thrive in a fast-paced environment without compromising the quality of your work.
Now we can't forget about the elephant in the room, radiation itself. What about questions related to safety?
Right? That's bound to come up. They might ask, how do you ensure radiation safety for yourself and your colleagues?
Okay, this is where you'd highlight your knowledge of LRI principles
Exactly.
for those of us who need a refresher.
LRI stands for as low as reasonably achievable. It's all about minimizing radiation exposure for both patients and staff, using proper shielding, following established protocols, and meticulously monitoring radiation levels.
So by mentioning LRI, you're showing that you take safety seriously for yourself and everyone around you.
Right. It demonstrates that you understand the potential risks and are committed to minimizing them.
Okay, that makes sense. What about those truly stressful situations, though, like emergencies during treatment?
Yeah, that's a possibility. They might ask, how do you handle emergencies during radiation therapy treatment?
I imagine that's all about showcasing your ability to stay calm and collected.
Absolutely. Quickly assess the situation and follow emergency protocols efficiently.
It's probably helpful to have a specific example in mind. Maybe a time when a patient had an adverse reaction, or there was some malfunction with the equipment.
Definitely. And always reiterate that your top priority is the safety and well-being of the patient.
Right, of course. Okay, so we've talked about handling emergencies, but we can't wrap up this section without talking about teamwork, because radiation therapy involves close collaboration with so many other healthcare professionals.
Absolutely. A common question is, how do you work with other healthcare professionals, such as radiation oncologists and medical physicists?
I feel like this is where you really want to highlight those communication and collaboration skills. Talk about your ability to share information effectively, respect different perspectives, and work together towards that common goal of patient care.
Exactly. And again, be prepared to provide a specific example. Maybe describe a time when you had to coordinate care with other members of the treatment team to overcome a challenge, or ensure a smooth treatment process.
So you're demonstrating that you're not just a skilled individual,
Yeah.
but a valuable team player.
Right. And that's an essential quality in any healthcare setting.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground with these interview questions, but I know there's so much more to explore.
You're right. Remember, this is just a starting point. RoleCatcher offers a treasure trove of additional resources, from in-depth career guides and skill-building modules to a vast library of competency-based interview questions.
And don't forget, their AI can help you tailor your responses to specific job descriptions and even give you feedback on your delivery.
It's truly an incredible tool for anyone preparing for a radiation therapist interview.
I completely agree. But before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, I want to take a moment to talk about the bigger picture, the career path itself. RoleCatcher provides some great insights into the typical stages of a radiation therapist's career.
They do. They outline the progression from entry-level to more senior positions, like a lead or principal radiation therapist, highlighting the responsibilities and skills associated with each stage.
This is so helpful for visualizing your potential growth path and for tailoring your interview answers to demonstrate ambition and a long-term vision.
You want to show potential employers that you're not just looking for a job, you're looking to build a fulfilling and impactful career in this field.
I love that. Okay, I think we've given our listeners a lot to digest in this section.
We have. But we're not done yet. We still have more to unpack in the final part of our deep dive, including some thought-provoking questions about the future of radiation therapy.
Sounds fascinating. Let's take a quick moment to gather our thoughts, and we'll be right back to wrap things up. All right, we're back for the final part of our radiation therapy interview prep deep dive.
Yeah.
I feel like we've covered so much ground, from those tricky behavioral questions to really showcasing your technical expertise.
We have. But before we send you off into the interview battlefield fully equipped, I think it's worth taking a moment to remember why we're doing all this, to remember the heart of radiation therapy.
The patient. It's easy to get caught up in the technical details and the interview prep. But at the end of the day, this career is about making a real difference in people's lives.
And interviewers want to see that you understand that. They want to see that you're not just interested in the technology or the job title, but that you genuinely care about the patients you'll be serving.
So how do you convey that during an interview?
Well, a question that often comes up is, Why did you choose a career in radiation therapy? This is your chance to connect with the interviewer on a personal level, to share your story and let your passion shine through.
So it's not just about giving a rehearsed answer, it's about being authentic.
Exactly. Think about what truly drew you to this career path. Was it a personal experience? A desire to help others? Or a fascination with the science and technology behind it? Whatever it is, let that be the driving force behind your answer.
And don't be afraid to get a little personal, right?
Within reason, of course. Sharing a brief anecdote that illustrates your passion can be incredibly powerful. It helps you stand out from other candidates and shows the interviewer that you're not just reciting memorized answers.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about how to approach some of those tough interview questions.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, with all the advancements happening in radiation therapy, how do you see the role of AI evolving in the future?
That's a great question. We're already seeing AI being used in incredible ways, from optimizing treatment planning to personalizing radiation doses, even assisting with image-guided surgery. But I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
It's exciting to think about the potential.
Absolutely. As AI becomes even more sophisticated, it could potentially automate certain tasks, allowing radiation therapists to focus even more on patient care and support.
So it's not about replacing the human element, but rather enhancing it.
Exactly. It's about harnessing the power of technology to improve patient outcomes and to make the radiation therapy journey as positive and empowering as possible.
That's a powerful vision for the future. So to our listeners, as you prepare for your radiation therapist interview, remember to do your research, practice your answers, and utilize those incredible resources RoleCatcher provides. Their AI tools can give you a real edge in tailoring your responses and showcasing your skills.
But most importantly, don't forget the human element. Let your passion for this field shine through and approach each question with empathy and authenticity.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's all the time we have for today, but we're confident that armed with these tips and resources, you'll be well on your way to acing that interview. Good luck as